by the way?
It's great, bro, on my end.
Cool, sweet. Yours is good too, so we're set. I think it's going to take probably 5 seconds to load, so let's see how it's looking over
Okay.
here.
And I can share my screen. And are you gonna share your screen at all during this?
Yeah, I'll probably share my screen at some point, and if you want to share your screen, you just got to press that button, and then should
Yeah.
be good to
Okay.
go.
Cool.
I don't know, is there a chat on your end anywhere? Ah, here it is. Cool.
Oh, it looks like we're live now, I think.
Awesome. How we going, guys? Can everyone hear us? Can everyone see us? This is the first time I've done a live like this, so let me know if you can hear and see us. Awesome. I think it's working. That's good. Awesome. We'll give a couple minutes for everyone to come in. Yeah, that looks good. How many viewers we got?
Just
Let's
so
have a look.
everyone knows, this is first time myself and Dan have ever spoken before. So it's gonna be completely organic, uncut, just trader talking to trader. I mean, as you guys know, if you're just tuning in, um, I called Brett and Dan called Toshi, and those have been the two best calls on base over the last 6 months by far. Nobody's come close to those calls. So obviously, a lot of you guys have followed us into that, and you're up. So many of you are up hundreds of thousands. Some of you are about to be cracking a seven-figure profit with us. I think there's a couple of you who have already cracked a seven-figure profit. So it's gonna be dope.
Yeah, we're like the only two guys on Twitter who can publicly predict what the market does months in advance in the meme coin sector, at least. Like, we've done really well here. So we figured we'd come together and put on a bit of a meme coin masterclass, I guess you could call it that. Basically explaining how we've done what we've done, how you can find meme coins before they go 100x. Basically, just give you a bunch of insights into how we've done, you know, how we've like made $1 million or more from meme coins just in the past, like even just in the past month. I think we're up that much. So yeah, I think we'll get started. Crash, thanks for joining. We only met each other like 5 minutes ago, so this is good to talk to you. Give everyone an introduction on yourself, because a lot of people who follow me probably haven't seen your stuff. I'm sure a lot of them have, but a lot of them haven't. So yeah, give us an intro about why we should listen to you, how much money you've made, what you're doing in the crypto space, all that sort of stuff.
Okay, cool. So my name is Crash, even though I'm like the biggest bull out here right now. Reason for that is because back in 2021 is when I made my first public video about crypto, and it was predicting the crash of Bitcoin. So I said at 54K Bitcoin that I thought it was going to crash down to 30K, and then literally a week after I said that, it happened. Market crashed down, and at 54K Bitcoin, everyone was telling me we're going to 100K and that I was an idiot. And so there we go. I started getting a lot of views talking about crypto instead of stock and reading like charts. I just translated better on crypto. So that's why my name's Crash. So that's when I started publicly making videos and content about crypto. And then I really transitioned well into it from a background of being able to read charts. So before even meme coins, to me, I came from a background of reading charts and using charts to predict the way price is going to move. But when you combine that also with logic and trying to front run narratives and front run what people are going to do in the market, you combine that with your chart skills, it's been really good for me. So that's kind of what I do. I rely on the charts, and then I rely on the fundamentals or the logic. But obviously with meme coins, a lot of times they're newer, and so you don't even have a chart history to go off of. So you really just got to go off of anticipating what's going to happen in the future. And so yeah, I don't know, when you have a combination of both of those things, it really is a amazing thing, because 99% of people in meme coins, they have zero understanding of charts. No, you have that, it puts you ahead of a lot of people. So just the last month, $3+ trades in meme. So I'll share my screen. I'll share with you guys some of those plays, and I actually have these positions publicly. I can literally show you guys my wallet right now. So let me know if you can put up my screen. Yeah.
Yep, we can see
So
it.
Uh, on what's it called? On Brett, I've turned so far 15K into 5.6 million. Another $1 million plus meme coin trade I had this month was on Bobo. So if we go over here, I have 3 Bobo wallets, and my internet's a little slower because I'm using a hotspot right now. But my Bobo position between 3 wallets is over 1 million, and my resistance dog, I'll talk about that in a little. It's also over 1 million. So I mean, we can just go through that. But yeah, I'm up over around 800, 900K on this one right here. I have that position to share with you guys as well. So why should you listen to me? I guess is because I mean, like, I'm probably one of the only people in the entire world who's actually up millions on meme coins. There's very few people actually doing that in the world. Majority of people in meme coins are losers. That's the truth. So yeah, I just showed you 3 positions that I'm literally up over $1 million on each this month, and those are dope. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me to anyone who doesn't know, and we've been killing it. And so I just want to say also props to Dan, because he was really the voice on base before me, even on Brett, really preaching the long-term vision of base to everyone, when Toshi was newer. So yeah.
Thank you for the intro. You've been, yeah, absolutely crushing it. You guys can see that I only bring people up on here who have been confirmed to have made a lot of money doing what they do. And yeah, Crash has been absolutely printing. So in case anyone's watching this and doesn't know about me, I'll give you a brief intro. I've done similar things, not as well as Crash, with mostly Toshi, catching the base trend super early. We got Toshi at 2.5 million market cap, publicly posted about that, and that's at 260 million market cap now. I put in about 15K, took 25% profits at about 100 and I don't know, 60 more market cap. So you can do the math on how much that is. I haven't checked the portfolio balance, but yeah, we're going to talk a lot about meme coins today, and we're going to talk about how you can do something similar to what we've done, and you can make your first million or even, multiple millions on meme coins. So Crash, what do you think is the most important skill set that you have that you think people need to have success in meme coins? What is it about your strategy, or what is it about the way you view the market that has been able to get you so early into these positions?
Yeah. So I think it comes down to anticipation and knowing what has worked in the past, right? So for example, right, obviously I've caught Brett now, the #1 meme on base, and then I've caught Resistance Dog, the #1 meme on Telegram. How did I have confidence that these would blow up? Is because I saw these early on and believed that they were the #1 meme on their blockchains. And so whenever something is considered the #1 meme on its blockchain, typically it's going to go past $1 billion market cap. And so that's where you can load up at a 1 million market cap, a 3 million market cap, a 5 million market cap, and have confidence that there's a ton of upside in that thing. Now, a lot of people may be like, well, I don't get it. How'd you think that Brett was the one? And it's because the narrative, right? So, like, what has a better narrative, Quack or Brett? So, like, let me tell you something. In a week from now, why should anyone buy Quack? Like, oh wait, I can't think of any reason why you would buy that, because you also have to find things that whenever there's red candles, is there still going to be sustained demand, or is the Ponzi just, it collapses and it's over? So you have to find something that makes sense on a longer time frame if you really want to catch the 100x plus. Because if it's just a pump and dump, right, if the Ponzi collapses as soon as there's a red candle, good luck making your way to 100x or a 1000x, because really, if you want to make the 100x to 1000x, typically you need to do it on a longer time frame. I always tell everyone the biggest money is made on big time frames, not on what you see a lot of people do is they go on the 1 minute time frame and they're just over here zoomed in, and they're like, oh, green candle, they buy, and then red candle, they sell, right? And then they just take a L, when in the reality, on the big picture, this thing is just going up and up and up, right? So a lot of people, they get sucked into the smaller picture instead of zooming out and just thinking, where is the money going to come from? And so obviously we have a huge advantage, like catching the #1 meme on base or the #1 meme on Telegram, because we understand how many users and how much money is going to flow into these blockchains. Because, like, well, Telegram has 900 million monthly active users. Of course, a lot of people have multiple Telegram accounts, right? So obviously those stats could be inflated. We know Coinbase has over 100 million users who have downloaded the app. So that's a lot of users that they can bring in. And at the end of the day, in meme coins, the reality is you have to buy and then you have to sell your bags to someone else at a much higher price. To buy it from you around buying or blurf inu, and then the shit, after some red candles, no one wants to buy it anymore. Good luck making 100x there. So you have to think what's actually going to have sustained demand, and you have to see the bigger picture and where's the money going to come from, right? So I think it's just a combination of logic as well as understanding what works and what doesn't. And I guess that's kind of vague because a lot of people will say, well, I don't get it. How do you know what works and what doesn't? And like I said, I'm trying to look for the number one meme on each blockchain right now has been my strategy. And well, to me, it's easy on base because you look at the competition. Quack, Brett is better. Blurf, Brett is better. Bang, Brett is better. Like it's better in every way. The stats don't lie. And so once I have confidence that something is the number one meme on a chain, well, I can go in confidently, right? I can go in with some size, and I can have conviction to hold that through the long term, because if it is indeed correct, right, my thesis that this is the number one meme on a blockchain, then it's going to go to, in my opinion, decabillion plus, right, 10 billion plus. So that's how I'm not like getting shaken out on 1 minute candles, because I see the bigger picture. And so I just want to apologize because I feel like it's a longer answer. I guess there's just so much that goes into it. But if I had to summarize it, I would say that another thing, by the way, is what are 99% of people doing? Do the fucking opposite, right? So if everyone, for example, soon is going to be buying the political hype, right? Everyone in the world, right?
Yep.
So I'm giving you an example here, right? Because like this is one that I've bought is Donald Trump's dog. Think about this. We're 5+ months away from the election. So majority of people, they don't want to buy that. They will buy it whenever we get closer to the election, right? So my job is to buy when nobody else wants to buy, and then sell it to them when everyone in the world wants to buy. See, whenever you buy when nobody wants to buy, once again, you have the honor and privilege to sell it to everyone in the world when they want to buy. So you have to find things that nobody wants to buy right now, sell it to them when they all want it, right? So this is a prime example of like just waiting, right? Be patient and let the what you're anticipating play out, because these things will play out, but you just got to be patient a lot of times. And a lot of times people don't have the patience. You see, I just bought this right here, right? Think about that. The election, bro, is in November, right? I mean, I don't keep up with politics, but I'm pretty sure it's in November.
Yeah,
like that's a long ways away, bro. And see, that's the thing. I am buying it so far away from the election because nobody wants to fucking buy it, because there's opportunity cost, right? They think, well, why would I buy it so far out? Like the hype of the election won't be until here. So that's exactly when I buy. God entry, because nobody in the world wants to buy it. And then guess what? They're all going to be buying it in November. So once again, when you can buy when nobody else wants to, sell it to them all when they want to, right? Because that's what 99% of people do. The hype. They buy into the news. They buy into the event actually happening. Me, I'm front running the events. I'm front running what everyone's going to do later. This is what 99% do. And then I want to always be the 1% who's doing what nobody else is doing in the market. And that's fucking buying when nobody wants to buy, right? So yeah, that's a key.
Yep, that's the thing. And that is what years and years of being in crypto or being in markets will teach you. It will teach you how to predict what is going to happen into the future. Because what we're ultimately doing in crypto especially is we're trying to analyze what's happening, and we're trying to look into the future and guess what people are going to care about at a later date that they don't care about now. And so with the whole base thesis, the idea is very simple. It's Base has a plan to migrate all of its users from Coinbase to Base. They've publicly stated this as early as 2016. If you read the documents that they've put out from 2016, their plan all along has been to build Base. And they're the number one exchange and all these different things. And you consider all these different elements of what's going on, and you can use sort of second and third order consequence analysis to say, okay, well, if this is happening and this is happening and that's going to happen, then we can say that Coinbase is going to be moving its users to Base and is going to be a meme coin that gets to an insane valuation. And you can say Also, SHIB, being on Ethereum was, an amazing play in the last bull run. Doge was an amazing play in the last bull run. And, Bonk was another amazing play on Solana. There's a common trend happening here where the number one meme of each chain gets an insane valuation, and people haven't really caught on to this yet. And you can front run the fact that people are probably going to care about this at a later date. So, ultimately in markets, you get 6, 7, 8 years of experience, and what you ultimately end up gaining the ability to do is predict what people are going to care about in the future. And the goal, as Crash has just said, is to buy things that people are going to care about at a later date. And the play that he did there with Trump's dog is really smart, because when you think about it, right, as we get closer to the election, people are going to care more and more about, and that is going to occupy more and more of the mind share of people all around the world. And let's imagine that crypto continues to be into a bull run until then. Phantom wallet becomes more and more and more popular. Crypto is occupying more of the mind share. If everyone in the normal world is talking about politics and they're trying to find a way to bet and speculate on what everyone in the world is talking about, and crypto is popular at that time, it just makes logical sense that Bowden, Trump, however you call it, all these different political memes just get insane valuations. And that's why something like Bowden could go to a 5, 10, even higher $1 billion market cap, simply due to just a few of these variables lining up, right? All we need is a good bull market. Obviously, Biden not to die before the elections in November. And we need, like a bull run, basically. And you add a couple of these variables together, and you have the setup for something even crazier going on with even in the political meme space. So, yeah, I think what you just said is spot on.
Yeah. Can I ask you, man, how did you find Base? Like, were you there week one? And what brought you there?
So I think the way that I found Base was from a combination of things. I do have friends who work at Coinbase, and I have friends who got onto the chain really quickly. I think Base was very popular in its first 1 to 2 weeks. We had Friend Tech pop up very early days, and everyone sort of did, at the start, everyone did see to a certain extent the narrative of Base, the fact that Coinbase would send its users there. But the thing was that a month or two after Base launched, everyone forgot about Base. They wrote it off as if it was not going to be popular. And I think one of the things that you learn when you've done investing for a long time is to recognize the difference between expectations and reality. So the first month of Base launch, it was very popular. Everyone had massive expectations, but the reality was it had only just launched a month ago. There was nothing really on Base besides Friend Tech, which was showing that it was a bit of a short-term trend that wasn't sustainable due to basically sucking up all the money in absurd fees, right? You can't run a sustainable platform when you take multiple % cuts on every transaction. It's not going to work. So you could see that the current hype at that time, month one, was unsustainable. The expectations were really high. The reality was not there. And so I didn't buy Toshi on that first run from 0 to 30 million. I didn't touch it. The first buy that I made on Toshi was a $2.5 million market cap. And I publicly said at like a 10 million market cap, this is why Toshi crashed. It's because everyone's talking about Base, and Base is way too popular for what it is right now. Give it a little bit of time for people to forget about Base, and then we buy, because this is the place that you want to be making money. And just from a logical standpoint, it just made logical sense to me after talking to guys who worked at Coinbase. They said, Brian Armstrong has been planning this for over 5 years now. This has been the plan since they basically began business, right? This is not something they just pulled out of their ass last week. This has been their game plan from day one. And Binance is dying. FTX is gone. Kraken sucks. Coinbase is the only solid exchange that exists that has this user flow, that has this demand, that has this capital that they can funnel wherever they would like it to go. And just talking to people that I knew at Coinbase and considering just a couple of these things about Base, about Coinbase, just made it a really logical choice that it was the place to make money.
Yeah, that makes sense. And see how you said you bought when nobody else wanted to buy. You bought it on the dip and when the hype died down, right? And that's the thing. Hype comes and goes. So if you can buy it when it leaves, then you just got to wait until the hype returns a lot of times, right? So another point I want to make, dude, which is that the number one meme on each blockchain outperforms the actual blockchain itself. You know, if you've held WIF, you've outperformed Solana. If you've held SHIB, you've outperformed Ethereum. And so that's why I think holding the, right now there is no base token, but even if there was a base token, you would outperform it by holding Toshi or, in my opinion, right? So that's another thing, is just going off of the facts, which very few people in meme coins do. If you actually think about meme coins, it's 99% losers. All right. I know it sounds rude, but this is the truth. It's a lot of people that are hoping to get rich extremely quick. And I know I'm not the best example, because I know I made a lot of money and I set an unreal expectation for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Although it's not unreal, man. If you're just smart and you're ahead of people and you think ahead and you think about things when nobody else is thinking about them, no, like, you legit can do it. And I've shared all these plays with you in real time, right? But it's just like 99% of people who get into meme coins, they have zero understanding of the charts. They have zero understanding of their emotions. They just see, oh, this is hot right now. Okay, let me buy it. So there's no thought process that goes into what a typical person does in meme coins. They just hear what's hot and then they buy it. And a lot of times, by the time you're hearing something is hot, it's already late sometimes, right? And that's why I want to say it. Another important thing is numbers. Like, right now, I can tell you factually that there is 4 million users on base, roughly. In the future, right, Coinbase says they want to onboard 1 billion users on the chain. So if there's only 4 million today, and they want to 250x the user base, well, what's going to happen if there's 250x more users? By the way, I think they're crazy on their billion user target. But let's just say they hit 20 to 30% of that, 200 to 300 million users on chain in the next 10 years. That means the user base here could literally 90x. If the user base 90x's, the money is going to 90x plus. If the money flow 90x's plus, then where is that money going to flow to? I believe it's going to flow into the meme coins that don't rug to zero. A lot of meme coins are going to rug to zero. So you have to find, okay, there's all this money flow. There's all these people that are going to come over to this network. I just need to make sure I don't get in some bullshit that's going to go to zero. Because the things that go to zero, guess what? They're not going to get the money flow. They're not going to get all this user growth and money growth that's coming to the chain, because they're going to be at zero. They're going to be fucking rugged, right? So that's why you got to find what's not going to be rugged, what actually has staying power. And if you can find the top memes on this chain that have staying power, then guess what? When this blockchain grows 30x plus users, 30x plus the money flow, well, that money flow is going to have to find its place somewhere on this chain. And where it's going to find it is in the top meme on this chain, or the second top meme in this chain, right? So that's really logical. That is I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at where this chain is going. I know what's inevitably and ultimately going to happen here. So guess what? I can be confident in that. But a lot of people right now, they're going to buy it. If it dips a little, they're going to be down like $100. Like, oh my God, I'm down $100. I could have bought myself like 10 burgers, and they're going to fucking and cheat it, you know? And then they're going to miss out. They're going to come back in like 18 months right now. That I was an idiot. 10 billion market cap, for example. So yeah, it's just, it also comes down to having logic, having a thought process, because 99% of people in meme coins have no fucking thought process. So just by having a thought process, you get ahead of them. And seeing the bigger picture, because most people, they zoom in on the 1 minute candles and they just, they have no conviction what's ultimately happening, right? So let me ask you though, man, let me ask you something here. What do you think is the biggest area people go wrong in meme coins?
That's a good question. I think there's a number of ways that you can approach meme coins. I think there's like two main strategies. There's you find a new coin, it launched today. There's not really many things that you can find about the project. You maybe got two things that you like. Maybe the guy who launched it launched another coin that you like and the name's cool, right? That might be what you are able to build a thesis on your first day. That's a strategy, and there's upsides and downsides of that strategy. And there's another strategy, which would be what I would do and what you would do more so. It's you find a coin, it's been trading for a few weeks at least, or a month or two. You accumulate it when no one's talking about it, and you hold that thing for weeks to months. And I think the problem that people have is they mix up strategies, or they don't even actually have a strategy. They don't really have any thesis, any strategy, any process behind what they're doing. They're just buying into a meme coin, straight up gambling without an edge. And in any pursuit in life, the only way that you're going to be able to make it work for you consistently is to have some sort of advantage, some sort of edge over the people that you're competing against. Because markets are zero sum. If I make money from this coin, it's because someone else will eventually lose money on it, right? If I pull profit out, that's someone else's loss. And the only way that I can consistently make money from crypto over the long term is if I'm consistently better than a large enough group of people that I take their money and they give it to me, right? And most people, the way that they are approaching crypto, they're not actually good enough to make money. If you, all of you guys watching this, there's a lot of you watching. I think there's it says 2,000 viewers. I don't know if that's right or not, but there's a lot of you watching this. You have to sit back and think and look at how you're approaching crypto and genuinely ask yourself, are you better than most people in the market with how you're approaching crypto right now to justify actually making $1 million, right? If you want to make $1 million from crypto, that's the equivalent of getting onto the national level sporting team for any sport, right? Think about how much work, how much sacrifice, how much of you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need to train every day, you need years of experience. Think about everything that goes into getting on a national level sports team. And then think about how much work you've done for your investing system, for your strategy, for your approach, for how you're actually going about buying these meme coins. If you can't see the same level of dedication and commitment and time investment in how a national level athlete would approach things and how you trying to become a millionaire would approach things, then you shouldn't expect to be able to make all this money from memes. Chase and I, Crash, we're online all day, every day. We've been doing this for years. You know, we've genuinely put in 10,000 we put in the 10,000 hours to say that we're like very good at this. And that is why we're able to get these results. So a lot of you are like, how do you find the next meme? You know, how do you do it? Well, you have to do the 10,000 hours to be able to do this stuff. Like we can try to explain to all of you, okay, well, you have to front run narratives. You have to predict what's going to happen. But that skill to do that needs 10,000 hours of study. So ultimately it comes back to how do you make money from crypto? Well, there's two ways. You either follow the pro, follow someone who's really good, like Crash or I, or you become a pro and you commit to the 10,000 hours of study. There's only two paths. If you operate from a different path from those two, follow the pro or become the pro, you will not make millions of dollars, right? The other path that a lot of people take is they will become an amateur. They will stay an amateur, right? Or they will follow an amateur. They'll follow some guy on Twitter who sucks, or they'll just remain a shit investor forever, right? That's the path that most people take, those two paths. But that doesn't work. You might make some short-term profits. I'm sure a lot of you have no strategy and you've actually still made some money. On paper, you've made some money. But actually keeping that money is a whole different story. Making money and keeping money is an entirely different story. All of you are making money right now. Everything's going up. Wait till the bear market hits and we'll see who actually keeps the money, right? That's going to be a very different story. So, yeah.
Let me talk about keeping money, man. So I always tell people this. When you make money, set aside 20 or 30% in a wallet that you don't touch. And because the truth is, a lot of you guys, man, out there, you're going to round trip to nothing. Even if you make 500,000, well, let's say you start round tripping, Bitcoin starts dipping, your 500K that you thought you had turns into 200K. Now your 200K, you're sitting there and you're thinking, man, I was just at 500K. Shit, I need to make it back. Like I need to get back to my 500K and then I'll exit the market. So then, bro, you start taking risks. You start making stupid plays to try and get back to 500K. You're trying to force it because you have this imaginary number in your head. Then guess what? You end up blowing your 200K into nothing, basically. Then you're going to sit there being like, wow, I had 500K. Now I have zero. Where did I go wrong? Like, I swear it was just like last week I had all this money. Where is it now? And you'll be like, why? I should have just bought Bitcoin instead. Like, why did I fuck around in these meme coins and all this shit? Right? So, this is the thing, right? If you, in that sequence of events, which is going to happen to a lot of people, unfortunately, if you just set aside 20 or 30% of all your money, so whenever you had made 500K, but well, this is the way you really do it. Okay, you made 50K today, set aside 20K. You made 20K, set aside 6K. You made 30K, set aside 10K. Okay, and just put that away in a wallet that you're not going to touch. And then guess what? If you go to zero, well, guess what? Because you set this money aside in this wallet, you're going to have something to fall back on. You're going to have that 100K or 200K that you saved up. because every time you made money, you threw away some profit into that wallet. And now, guys, instead of having to start at zero, you don't have to. You can start at 100K again, 200K. And well, in investing, right, the first 100K is way harder, than like it's just like the first money is the hardest money. So if you can protect zero, you're going to be able to bounce back way quicker if you are to fuck up. But what happens to most people, they get fucked up, they go to zero, and now it's very hard to build back up again, right? You can do it, but once again, it's a lot harder. So you fast track yourself a lot, where even if you mess up and you make the mistakes, if you set some money aside from 30% of what you win, you set it aside, you're always going to have something to fall back on, and you're not going to have to start at zero. So that's a key thing I can say. Look, anyone can make money, but can you actually keep it? And most people will not keep the money. So yeah, I've had to learn the hard way. That's how I can tell you this stuff, right? I've made a lot of money and then lost it, right? That's once again, that's how I have these safety nets and measures in place to make sure I don't do that. And that's how I can share that with you guys. So yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, most people will have to, like, I would say like 95% of people watching this will have to lose most of their money, or pretty much all of it. They'll have to get hacked, scammed. Something's going to have to happen for them to be able to learn what not to do. Because in crypto, there's a million ways that things can go wrong. And to be able to consistently avoid making these big mistakes that lose you all your money, you have to have basically branded on your skin like the memory of the pain of what it felt like to lose all of your money. Like right now, if you haven't been rugged or hacked or scammed or lost all your money before, you're sort of in la la land. La la la. I'm just going to buy meme coins and make all this money and become a millionaire. And the path towards millionaire is just going to be nice and up and straight and easy. Nothing can go wrong. I'm not going to get scammed. I'm smart. La la la. And then something's going to come along and it's going to like humble you, and you're going to lose all of your money. And that is an inevitable part of the journey for most people. So like Crash says here, it is so smart that if you make 50K, put aside 10K and don't put that back into the market. Just take it out to the bank account even, because you will probably eventually lose most or all of your money. It's the tuition fee you have to pay. It's all part of it. So at least if you lose everything, you've still got that 10K that you pulled out. And you're not going to notice if you turn 10K into 50K and you pull out 10, right? You pull out your initial investment. You're not going to notice if the coin goes up 50x. You're not really going to care that much. Like, oh, I could have made a little bit more money. You still kept 80% of it in. You only pulled 20% of it out. Now, if you lose it all, you're fine. Like Crash says, you're not starting from absolute zero. But you still got most of your money in the sense that you've still got that upside. So yeah, most of you are going to lose all of your money, and that's fine. That's the journey, right? A lot of you are telling me in the chats here, yeah, like it's like a therapy class. Daniel, you're right. I lost all my money, 30K. It's like, yeah, like read the chat. Most people have lost most or all of their money. It's all part of the journey, part of the tuition of the first few years in crypto. And then you sort of hopefully graduate a lot. Most people graduate from that, and that's when they begin to make money. Like the third cycle people take the money from the first cycle people. And then it's just this endless game of new guys paying the old guys, and then they become the old guys and they get paid by the new guys. And it just keeps happening again and again over generations. And, that's just the game of investments.
Let me say something, bro, though. It's a common saying: the first cycle, you lose your money. Second, maybe you break even or make a little. And then the third one, you really multiply your wealth.
Yeah.
I just want people to know, man, you don't have to wait 3 cycles to get it right. Like you said, be the pro or learn from one. And it's like, or just learn from history, learn like the way the market moves, learn how these things work, and you won't have to repeat the same mistakes that others do. And like, obviously we're sharing the same mistakes that we've made, that others have made, so that others who are newer, you don't have to. Of course, sometimes the best way to learn it is to go through the experience yourself, and then you'll get it even better, right? Taking it from someone, a lot of times it will never hit as hard as actually learning it the hard way yourself. But there's actually nothing wrong with losing, because the more you lose, the more you become familiar with it and how to avoid it, right? Because you'll start to identify these patterns. Oh, I lost because I did this, or I lost because I bought this dumb shit. And so I'm telling you, actually, the more times you lose, the better you're going to get at not losing, because you're going to know what it feels like, and you'll stay away from that feeling of what a loser and what a losing play feels like. So actually, the more L's you rack up, the easier it is going to be to not take L's anymore. And that's why you follow me. Like I don't really take that many L's, man. I'm pretty on point because
Oh,
I've already gotten so many L's out of the way, I guess, and the painful experiences or whatever. So to me, like it's kind of on easy mode now. And so and this is the thing I tell everyone this, man. It's not 100x play that's gonna change your life. You gotta be fucking rock solid yourself because I don't care if you make 100x, okay? Fucking turn 100,000 into 10 million. It don't fucking matter. You'll blow it anyways. So it's not the 100x that makes you. It's you being a rock solid person, and then you make the 100x's and then you make them count. So a lot of you guys here, man, you're thinking you're gonna get rich, you're gonna get lucky, you're gonna make 100x and life is gonna be good. Well, first off, you'll probably blow it when you make it, and two, you probably aren't even good. A lot of people. Okay, and so congrats, you made your 100x, but because you actually lack skill and you don't even know what you're doing, you just got lucky and you made 100x, it doesn't fucking matter, right? So focus on your skill and focus on your perspective of the market first, and then the gains will follow, but you got to be actually solid yourself. And a lot of people, and I just want to address that because, man, a lot of people think they'll hit 100x and their life will be changed. No, it won't be. Okay, it won't. So
Yeah, like making money and keeping it's a very different story. Like a lot of guys are running up 6-figure, 7-figure bags, and they're messaging me like, "Thank you for helping make me all this money." And I tell them like, "Hey, bro, like you've made your first million. Congrats. Usually you make your first mil and you lose it, but now that you've made your first mil, you've got that out of the way. It's a lot easier to make a mil again once you've already made it. So that's like generally the journey of most people. You make making
also,
money and keeping it. You go.
bro, I see some people saying 2 mil and I'm out, 10 mil and I'm out. Well, that's probably why you're not going to get there, bro. Because if your mindset is only set on 2 mil, well, it's actually going to be harder to get to 2 mil with that kind of mindset. Like, if you're really making money, it's probably because you're thinking outside the box. You're thinking, I mean, you don't have to think outside the box. You don't have to be smart to make it to like 2 mil, right? You don't need to be, but you could just like save money, penny pinch, not not drink a coffee, live a I guess I shouldn't make fun of that because like at the end of the day, like if you're trying to save up the first 100K, I mean, I get it. Make your sacrifices, do it. But at the end of the day, man, like saving your way up to 2 million is not cool. You want to make your way up to 2 million. So fuck saving, start making money, right? Is what I think. And I just kind of like disagree with the whole saving money till you make it. I just think you need to increase your skill, get better, and make more money, right? So that's another thing. A lot of people save their way up. Once again, if you got to do it, fine. But I just argue, get the skills, get better, put your time in. Like Dan said, a lot of you guys, you maybe have less in the game, less than 500, less than 1,000 hours in the game. So obviously you go against me and I have way, way, way more hours in this than you. It's not going to be comparable, like a lot better because I put in the time. So that's another thing, right? Get your hours in, but try to get in quality hours. Because, dude, there's a lot of people who put in the hours, but they're just, I don't know, they're idiots, unfortunately. So once again, also think like, all right, I'm putting in the hours, but I don't want to be one of the goofballs who is old, but still sucks. Okay. A lot of people, they put in the time, like I said, they still suck. I don't know why, but it just is the case. So always put in quality hours and like try to improve on what you learned. And like I said, the more L's you take, the more you're going to be able to avoid them. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think is the biggest area people in crypto need to focus on to improve? What's the biggest flaw that you see with people when they come to crypto?
Yeah. So like we were saying before, 99%, they don't have a thought process or any logic. They're just going off of, oh, this is hot, let me buy it. Okay. So I think the number one thing people can focus on if they want to be good is to focus on being the 1%. Just focus on being different, man. Don't be like everyone else, man. If you're like everyone else, guess what? You're broke. Stop when you read your Twitter feed and you see what everyone's doing, stop following them. Stop doing what everyone else is doing. That's not how you make the um or at least no, you can still make like a 10x, but like if we're talking the title of this live stream is how to make 100x plus. Well, bro, think about it. If you're gonna catch 100x, you think you're gonna catch 100x by doing what everyone else is doing? That means everyone's making 100x. In what world does everyone make the 100x? Only a limited group of people are going to be making 100x. So you literally cannot be doing what everyone else is doing if you want to make the 100x. So if everyone's going right, go left. If everyone's buying something, go look and try to find something else that maybe is underrated right now, that's being looked. You know, another big mistake I see a lot of people make, man. So obviously, like this Bobo position, right? I showed you, between my 3 wallets is over $1 million, right? So I only put 30K in the Bobo. Check this out. This is when I started buying Bobo, right here, right here, right here. Dude, it was a long time. I had to wait
Holy
so
shit.
many months. But guess what? Yeah, bro. In this time, dog, okay, there was other coins that were pumping, and so many people sold their Bobo at the bottom, and they went to go chase other shit. So what did they do? Oh, well, everyone is buying into this coin that's hyped up. So what did they do? They sell the 1%. What 1% of people are doing, they're buying this at the bottom. Then they go do what 99% of people are doing. They sell their Bobo and they go buy the shit that's pumping. The shit that's pumping dumps. Okay. They lose their money. And then if they just would have held their Bobo, right, they could be up millions, right? You were doing what the 1% would actually hold through and see the thesis play out. So once again, you go from doing what the 1% are doing to chasing what 99% of people are doing. You get slaughtered like the sheep that you are, okay? And then you wish you would have just stayed here. So that's another mistake that people make, is they're constantly, if their bags aren't moving, if they're not hyped, they go chase shit that is hyped. Are you dumb? That's how you make the real money. You got to buy stuff when it's not hyped, sell it
Yep.
to people when it is hyped, right? So never sell your shit because it's not hyped. That's actually more reason to buy it. But yeah, I mean, that's just a clear sign that you're an idiot, is if you're selling stuff that's not hyped to go buy stuff that is hyped, you're the liquidity, you know?
100%.
So
Can I share my screen?
yeah, let's see it.
All right, let's see if I can set this up, because I want to show what that means in another way. I want to explain that same thing. Can you see my screen?
Not right now.
All right, let me turn it on. You can see it now?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
So yeah, in the market, different coins pump at different times. And the way I would draw it is like they have cycles like this where people care about them and they don't care about them, right? Up here is when everyone wants it. Down here is when no one wants it. And each coin is on its own little cycle, right? And they all tend to go up sort of at similar times and down at similar times, but they're all a little different. And when you're buying a coin and no one's, buying it and all the rest of the market's going up, if you're going to do what Crash just said and you're going to sell to chase a coin that's pumping, you're probably actually exiting the better coin for the worst coin, right? I think in crypto you also have to understand that you want to compound winners and cut losers, but you also have to understand that you might own a winner, it might just be a later winner. So one thing you need to understand is that when you have all these coins pumping right this, let's say that this is a couple different coins in the market, right? They're all pumping. And then you've got one that's sort of like this. There is a type of trader in the market who does what's called a sort of catch-up trade, where they look and they hunt for coins that haven't done what the rest of the market is doing, and they will buy into these to play the catch-up trade, right? So when you have, let's say, all these different coins in one sector pumping like here, and then you've got one of the coins in the sector that isn't pumping, this doesn't mean that this coin is going to be like this forever, because you have to realize that what is happening with this coin right here, right now? Well, all the people who are weak hands are selling to buy these coins. So the holder base of this coin is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Who's buying this coin? Well, the smart people are actually accumulating because they're seeing that this one is lagging, but it's probably only temporary. So the holder base is getting stronger. The weak hands are leaving and the strong hands are coming in. And what you also have is the catch-up trade people who are going to buy here for the catch-up trade that's going to happen when this coin plays catch-up. So you own something that's underperforming. That's okay, because it's actually probably going to play catch-up due to those three things that I just said. The weak hands are selling because it's too slow. The strong hands accumulate because they see that it's going to play catch-up. And there's also the catch-up traders who push this thing in the short term using their buying power, right? And that's why you have to be careful rotating into coins that are pumping. There's a very fine line between selling a loser to buy a winner and holding the loser that is only a short-term loser and it's going to become a winner. So you have to be careful. Like, you know, both of those instances can be right or wrong. You have to analyze the situation properly. But this is just understanding one of the market dynamics that does happen, especially like more so like especially in like a meme coin space, right, where things are so driven by hype. Like the narrative can change in the blink of an eye, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's a cliche saying out there that a lot of people say, "Oh, cut your losers instantly." That's so dumb, man.
Yeah.
It's like that. Imagine you bought Brett at 50 million and it was pulling back to 40 million. Oh no, cut your loser right away, you moron. Okay, now you just lost 20% of your money on a thing that was going up 20x plus, right? So no, don't cut your losers right away. If you actually have a sound thesis and it's a fundamentally solid trade and you're confident in your thesis for it, you shouldn't be selling it for less. You should probably be buying more. So I highly disagree with the cliche ass saying of cut your losses quickly. I think that's stupid. So yeah, that's another thing.
I want to show you here an example of this. So Jupiter, when it launched, everyone hated on Jupiter, right? They were saying, oh, this coin's shit, right? And the total market cap is the orange line, and that was rising. So you can see the total market was pumping, and Jupiter was lagging. And you have to understand that Jupiter was actually one of the top 20 coins in crypto in terms of mind share. Like everyone was talking about Jupiter, like it's a very popular coin. And it is actually a great project. There's a great team. Eventually they'll build something, they'll release some news, a narrative will stir up. Just because they're a great team, good things come up. And so you could have used that concept of looking for the coins that are sort of underperforming, which are actually solid projects, and applying this concept. So you can see here, if the total market cap is rising and your good project that has mindshare is going down, you can probably say that that's an inefficiency, right? The expectation of what people are seeing versus the reality is different. And you can see here that if the total market is rising, meaning that there's a bunch of coins pumping. And so all the people who have Jupiter, they're going to be selling, right? They're going to be selling Jupiter to then put it into other coins that are pumping. So you've got the weak hands leaving, right? And you got the strong hands buying Jupiter who believe in the project. And then you have, as you can see here, the gap between the total market cap and Jupiter, it actually became quite large. And this is when the momentum traders came in, playing the catch-up trade. They see that it's lagging and they see that it's a good project or a decent project. And these catch-up trade people, they actually don't really care about the project. They just look at the chart, right? They're project agnostic. Oh, the chart's lagging. Cool. That's all I need to see. Done. It can be. That's why scams often pump the hardest, because these guys who do the catch-up trade stuff, they don't care about the coin. They just care about the chart. And that's like a big difference in the way that someone who's selling here and someone who's buying here would look at a project.
Yeah, I'm amazed how similar our thought processes are, man. Because I noticed already, once again, guys, this is the first time I ever talked to Dan. You notice some similarities. We're both solid at buying when nobody else wants to buy. It really doesn't bother me. Like, I actually like buying when nobody else is buying.
Yeah.
See, people are strange in that they need validation from the market and others to feel confident in their play. Whereas I don't need anyone's fucking approval to be confident in what I'm buying. If I decide I think this is a good play, bro, I don't care if there's zero volume that day. I'll buy that shit confidently and be like, yeah, someone's going to care about it eventually, right? Like, because I'm anticipating this. You can still hear me, right? Because I'm getting like some warning here.
I can hear you.
Yeah. See, so that's another thing a lot of people should work on. Stop needing validation from others. Stop needing to see green candles to, validate that, oh, you're in a good trade. No, just in your own mind, have confidence in your thesis. And you don't need to see no green candles or volume to know that you're right or that you're going to hit it, right? So that ask you, man, Toshi is going to go to this cycle. Obviously, it's so hard to predict, but like you can give ranges, like a bearish target, a modest target, and a holy shit, everything came together so nicely target.
So I have a second part of my thesis, which I I put a video in one of my groups about last week on Toshi, and I haven't really posted it publicly, but I think this launch pad that they're building is potentially really bullish. If you look at what made Degen have such a good rally, it was because it launched a layer 3 where you needed to own the Degen token to participate, meaning that if you want to get into this casino, you have to own the Degen token. And it's a very similar supply and demand dynamic to the layer 1 tokens, right? You have to own Solana to participate in the Solana eco. You have to own ETH to do all the different DeFi stuff, right? Maybe you could also own stables, but most people denominate in the layer 1's like native token. So you look at Degen, you have to own Degen to get into the layer 3 thing. People are trying to speculate on the memes that launched there. That's what led to Degen's massive price rise. And also, when you bridge across to the layer 3, you're stuck there for 7 days. So that was also another component. And I look at the supply and demand dynamics of Toshi's launchpad. The launchpad will obviously require you to own Toshi and to probably lock it up. And that is the exact same supply and demand dynamic as what happened with Degen. So I think if Toshi can pull off this launchpad, Toshi could definitely be like a $3 to $5 billion meme coin. Like imagine this future scenario, and this is how we do this analysis, right? We're imagining future scenarios. Imagine a universe where Toshi launches the #1 launchpad on base, and the base team has done a slight pivot from just shilling memes to basically saying, hey guys, we're actually building real shit on base here. A couple great projects decide to incubate with the Toshi team and launch through their launchpad. People make a bunch of money from the first launchpad done on Toshi, right? People now bid Toshi and lock it up to get into the next launchpad, right? I think that rally, if that scenario plays out, is a $3 to $5 billion market cap for that meme coin, or maybe more potentially. But obviously, that's one universe that doesn't have to happen. They could fuck up the launch pad. It could never launch. The projects could be shit. Another launch pad could be the winner. There's definitely risks associated with scenarios that it might not play out in. But if that plays out, bro, like easy $3 to $5 billion market cap, I would say. What about you? What do you think? And with Brett?
Yeah, I think 3 to 5 billion is so damn reasonable. Like, let's go through a scenario, right? Like, obviously, if this is the market cap of, we can do it the same for Toshi, because I do see these as the #1 and #2 memes on this chain, right? If this is when there's 4 million users on chain, and now let's just fast forward 6 to 18 months, and there's now, let's say 70 million users on chain. Okay, so the money, the humans on this freaking network, right? It like 15x's. So what do you think the money is going to do? By the way, look at this angel number right here. You see that? Is my screen being shared?
I just added it. It is
Okay.
actually no, it's not sharing. Can you
Oh,
do
okay.
the share screen again?
Yeah, I thought I was sharing my screen. So
1 sec.
let me know when you can see it.
Yep.
Okay. If we have 4 million users on this chain today, right? Remember, in meme coins, you got to sell someone. Someone's got to be there. Like otherwise, like, how are you going to get higher prices? Like, who's going to buy it from you, right? So I'm showing you who's going to buy it. If there's 4 million users on the blockchain today, and we know that there's going to be 70 million plus, then the user base is going to 15x plus, right? And so what's going to happen to the money flow? What's going to happen to the market caps? If the user's 15x, the money 15x's, and we maintain a similar ratio to today, and I think the price is going to minimum 15x, if not more, because the thing is, as price goes up, FOMO rises, and the network effect rises, and the traction and virality on social media can kick off to extents that you didn't understand were possible. So once again, if the user base 15x's, the money flow 15x's, the market cap is probably going to 15x minimum, if not way more, because of the FOMO, right, and the virality. So that's the way I see it, man. And it goes for Toshi, right? Think about that. You just said 3 billion to 5 billion. Well, 15x on the users, 15x on the money flow, 50 cap, you're at 3 to 5 billion, literally, right? So it's not a coincidence that what you estimated would be the market cap this would reach literally lines up exactly with my numbers. See, so when you have the numbers as well as a brand, or because I think the top meme coins are like brands. Like if we're on base, I think Brett is like Nike, and Toshi would be Adidas on this blockchain. Right? When people come up to this network, who are they going to trust the most? They're going to trust the most established brands, teams, and meme coins.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Adidas on this block. Well, guess what, man? A lot of people wear Nike shoes. A lot of people wear Adidas. And so in meme coins, that means just a lot of people are going to buy the number one meme, which is Brett, and a lot of people are going to buy the other meme, Toshi, on the chain, is the way I see it. So yeah, whenever you have a product that is not going to rug, you have something that is legit and it's built that social credibility, and it's built itself into that brand on the chain, then it's going to receive a lot of that money flow. So once again, when the users and the money 15x's, a lot of that money is going to find its way into Brett. And so let's do a calculation. Let's say on average between these 70 million people, let's say on average they have about $200 each, right? They're you got to realize some people are going to have $1,000, some people are going to have $10,000, they're going to have 40,000. Dude, I think the airdrop, by the way, let's go the coin market cap,
the
right?
base airdrop.
If we have an airdrop. Yeah, if we
have an airdrop.
Have a base airdrop, right? All this calculations without a potential base airdrop. All right, so let's go without a base airdrop. Let's just say there's 70 million users on chain. They on average have $200. How much money is that? 1.4 billion, right? So out of 1.4 billion dollars, right? Is that, no, that's a lot more than 1.4 billion, isn't it? Let's do the math. 70 million times $200. It doesn't even fit on the calculator. I think it might be like 14 billion.
Yeah.
Right? Are you doing math?
I think it's like, okay. I'm not good at math, but it's like something like that. Yeah.
All right. I think it's 14 billion. Yeah, the math was not my specialty, but I have basic math. I just don't have the fucking calculator showing me. So anyways, if $14 billion floods into this chain because he says 15x, all right, we're looking at $14 billion coming into this network. Of $14 billion, what percentage of the money do you think is going to find its way into the number one meme? I think 10% is very fair, right? I think it's very fair. Like if you look at the actual, blockchain, like Brett is the highest market cap, and it occupies the most mind share on this chain. Like when people think base, I think they think Brett. Like it's huge, man. It's huge. Like I said, it's the Nike of the chain at this point. So if 10% of that money funnels directly into this chart, that's who you're going to sell to. That's who's going to buy your bags. And I'm just looking at the numbers, man. Like this is super logical, right? Now, obviously, what are 99% of people in the world doing? You think they're trying to look at the numbers? You think they're trying to break this down in their head? No, they're just buying green candles and then they're selling on red candles like Jeets. Okay. So we're actually looking at the numbers, because if the numbers back us, then that's going to give us a flow of money. It's going to give us a tailwind, right? That's going to support the chart on the way up. So if the numbers back you and the narrative is there and the brand is there, then guess what? The money is going to find its way into the top brands. Okay. So once again, 10% of that is $1.4 billion, bro. Do you know what $1.4 billion of money flow into Brett does, right? So, but let's also account for sell pressure. So let's say like 50% of that. Let's slash that in half. So $700 million of money flow. Okay. What is $700 million of money flow going to do to this, bro? It's going to send it past 10 billion market cap. So this is how I can just sit confidently, chill here at 700 million, knowing that I see this $700 million, it's coming. It's going to come right into my bag. It's going to come and pump my bags. And see, I don't give a shit what anyone in the world thinks right now. All I'm focused on is these numbers right here, because I believe this is exactly what's going to happen. So if I'm correct on these numbers, right, I may be underestimating these numbers. These numbers may actually be a lot higher. These may be more. When I say 10%, it could be 20%, right? So things can actually go and do way better than I think. They could do slightly worse than I think as well. I have to be open to all those, possibilities. But yeah, when $700 million flows into this, like I said, that's sending this well past a 10 billion market cap, and that's basically what I'm focused on, man.
I mean, and also you have to look at the recent popularity of these memes from crypto YouTubers. It's a really promising sign. uh, the correlation between volume and higher prices is super important, especially in the meme coin space. As these projects go higher and higher, you need to see the volume consistently going higher and higher as well. And not just fake volume, but actually like real volume going higher and higher. And the fact that crypto YouTube is picking up on the base memes shows you that when this exit liquidity comes in larger amounts, the YouTuber crypto space already is shilling their audience to buy these things, which is an amazing sign, right? Because if, let's say, a sample size of 20 big crypto YouTubers all felt compelled to shill the base memes, right? Toshi and Brett mostly. Imagine once 300, 500 crypto YouTubers start shilling this stuff. And imagine once their audiences 2, 5, 10x as the bull run progresses, and they're still talking about the meme coins that they are talking about now. You can see that the coins that are popular and the coins that will get more popular due to this fact is the meme coins on base of Toshi and Brett, of Toshi and Brett, right? It just makes logical sense. If right now we are not at the stage of the bull run where it's the end, if we have more of this bull run to come and more retailer coming in, they're going to YouTube, they're going to these YouTubers, the YouTubers are telling them to buy the base meme coins, it's the place to be. And it is still arguably early given that fact. And I put a video out shitting on these YouTubers because they have caught it late. They have caught it after it went 100x, 200x, whatever it is. But it is still early in the sense that the influencers on YouTube have just caught onto it. And they're the ones bringing in our exit liquidity. And when, like, for example, Crash, when you're going on these podcasts and different things on YouTube, it's good to spread the word and it helps cement these memes as a place to be because we have to work for our bags. Like, a lot of you guys are just dead weight holders. You'd be like the guy who goes to the club with the guy that gets girls, and you just sort of sleaze off of him. Like your friend does all the approaching, and you just get the offcuts, and you don't do any work, right? That's like what a lot of you guys are with these bags that you hold. You buy all these meme coins, and you're just a dead fucking weight. You're not actually helping promote the coin. The holders are the marketers. When you hold a coin, you should be the affiliate marketer for that project. Because if you're not going to do the marketing, someone has to do it. Someone has to go to Twitter and talk about the coin and spread the gospel, essentially. And if you're going to be that dude who just leeches off his friend to get girls in the crypto space, then it's just, you're not helping your bags. So that's another big part of meme coin investing is you have to spread the gospel. If you want your bags to be the one that wins, because there is no confirmed winner. There could be another meme that comes up. If you want your meme to win, you have to put in the work to make it win. You have to be shilling. You have to be spreading the gospel, right? And that's super important. The future is not set in stone. Something could take the top spot.
Yeah, dude, I want to go over another point, right? Like someone said, I see in the comments, is this not dependent on the macro? So for me, it's really simple. I believe Bitcoin's going to be above 150K later in this cycle. So, well, if Bitcoin's above 150K eventually, I think the money that we're going to see in our memes is going to be way more, right? Everyone is going to be richer. Everyone is going to have more money when Bitcoin's at 150K. What do you do when you have extra money? You gamble. You throw it around trying to multiply it even more. And so the later stages of the cycle, right now, if you think this is a lot of money flowing, man, you have no idea, right, how much money is truly flowing in the last quarter of the bull market. And this is where a majority of it goes into something like Brett, something like Toshi. This is where the meme coins really go parabolic, like we saw Shib did. So when everyone, it's the wealth effect, right? When Bitcoin's above 150K, everyone's going to feel like a rock star. They're going to feel like, anything they touch goes up, and they're just so good at this. And so they're going to be chucking money left and right at everything, especially the number one meme. So once again, I am just, when someone said in the comments, is this not dependent on the macro? Yeah, it absolutely is. But just like, I'm not here, anal about the short-term, red candles that we're seeing right now, right? I'm just set on, hey, Bitcoin's going to be above 150K. When that happens, this is going to be exponentially higher, right? There's going to be so much more money flow, and there's going to be so many people up big, ready to chuck their money in with all that excess cash they have that they're going to give back to the market, and they're going to give it back to me. Whenever, all that money that they're up, they're going to chuck it in here, and those become our profits. When someone puts their money into the coin, now, I mean, you could sell into it now, right? Like, their money becomes ours because we're here front running them. So that's the way I see it. And last cycle, by the way, right from 2017, 2018 peak to that peak right there, it's about a 295% increase. So each cycle you have diminishing returns. So let's say this cycle we don't get 295%, right? But we get a little less, let's say 240%. That gets us to a 10 trillion market cap. So in market cap right now in crypto, and just based off of logic, based on the numbers, based on what we do every cycle, which is have diminishing returns, but we do get bigger and more money comes into space, right? Once again, 240% right here takes us to around 10 trillion market cap. This is a very reasonable target, 9 to 10 trillion. So yeah, this is dependent on the macro, but just my macro view is that Bitcoin's going to be above 150K and the total cryptocurrency market cap is going to be around 9 to 10 to 12 trillion. And when that happens, man, that is the prime time for the top meme coins. And so that's what I'm focused on. So
yeah. If you think it's not a cycle top, that means that the market is going to get more stupid than it is right now. And if the market gets more stupid, that means they're going to buy the more stupid things, which is technically the meme coin sector. It's the stupid sector. So meme coins going forward, as we get later into a cycle, people get dumber. They start buying meme coins more. The people who buy the meme coins are going to be more likely to buy them as we go on. And that's something to keep in mind. This sector gets its most popularity as we get later and later into a bull run, right? So like this is the worst time to be looking to get into like utility coins and think like let's say a bridging token like Synapse or Wormhole. Like this is not the time for those coins. The stage we're heading into in the market is the retard phase, and that is when meme coins are the most popular. So, and you've seen that, right? Meme coins have already gotten very popular as we've gotten near the all-time highs. Maybe Bitcoin's got to consolidate for a few months before it breaks convincingly above the all-time highs. But I think once we break the all-time high convincingly, that new level at about 71, 72K, I think that kicks off a positive feedback loop and we go crazy for probably into the elections, probably is when that would happen, just before then.
Definitely. And also just think when we do finally cross 100K Bitcoin, the headlines that we're going to be making, the media coverage is going to be insane. And that's when so many people are going to return and be talking about this stuff. So we're pre that, like we're before that. So if you think this is hype, man, this is not shit, right? Like I said, the last quarter of the bull market is where there's the most hype, the most money flowing around, and the most idiots that are going to buy your bags. Okay. Right now, those idiots that are going to buy your bags, they're not here right now, right? They're coming though. So what, I guess my whole thing is I really think that the gains are yet to come. And, I don't know if you've seen Max from Because Bitcoin. I really love his charts. He does such an incredible job of showing it. But basically, man, have you seen it?
Who's sorry, Max, you said?
Yeah, Max Because Bitcoin. Have you seen him?
I'm not sure.
Okay, let me see if I can find the chart. Actually, I don't think I have it. Oh, wait. Yeah, I have a video up here, man. I got to show you this, man.
Yeah,
this is sick.
Let's have a look.
Okay, when I find it, I'm going to share it with you. But basically, Dogecoin, it pumps hard when Bitcoin dominance rolls over, right? And since I'm so bad at showing this on my chart, okay, you see my screen still, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so see when Dogecoin goes crazy, as highlighted by these blue rectangles here. See, in the past, right here. Okay, when Doge goes crazy is when Bitcoin dominance is going down. Bitcoin dominance goes down. Guys, right now, Bitcoin dominance is going up, right? Meaning Bitcoin is actually sucking most of the money in the market. Altcoins haven't even really had their time to shine yet. So we are still pre-Bitcoin dominance falling phase, which happens every bull market. So once again, look what happens when Bitcoin dominance actually starts to roll downwards. Fucking that's when the real move happens in your altcoins and your meme coins. Look at that. Bitcoin dominance falls, Dogecoin goes crazy. Bitcoin dominance falls, Dogecoin goes crazy. That's the same thing for your top meme coins like Toshi and Brett on base, right? So look at this right now. Bitcoin dominance is going up. it's not even rolling over. This thing starts rolling over, that's when the real gains are going to be captured. That's when the money is truly going to flow into this shit, man. And that's when the idiots are going to buy your bags 20x, 30x, 50x plus higher. So that is what you got to be focused on, is the big picture, man. And once again, are 99% of people looking at this? No, bro. They have no idea. Bro, 99% of people don't even know what Bitcoin dominance is. They don't even know how to pull up this chart and see for themselves. So that's the thing. When you get an edge, when you look at these things, when other people are not, that's how you beat them, right? And so, how would we know that the top is in? How would we know that it's time to be taking profit out of the market? Well, I'll give you one example, right? Look, when Bitcoin dominance comes down here, hey, next time it comes down here, that's probably a great time to be locking in some profits on your altcoins, okay? Right? Because Bitcoin dominance at its bottom, right, when in these lower regions, that is usually the worst that Bitcoin is going to be doing and the best that altcoins are going to be doing. You see, this is the time to be bullish on your altcoins before this move down eventually hopefully happens. Because if this move happens, that's when you're going to make insane money on your altcoins. And then once it gets down here, kind of like you talked about the cyclical, look at this chart of Bitcoin
Yep.
dominance. It's cyclical, right? Bitcoin outperforms, then it underperforms. Altcoins outperform. Bitcoin outperforms, then it underperforms. So when Bitcoin is underperforming, that's when your altcoins are doing amazing. This is when your altcoins are doing amazing. But know when historically it's getting into that area where, guess what? Bitcoin will start to become so favorable at that ratio. When Bitcoin starts to actually have greater dominance over the market, is at these undervalued levels of Bitcoin dominance. So once again, the way I say it, you're bullish on your altcoins and your meme coins up here, and then you're actually selling your altcoins and your meme coins, locking in gains the further you see this Bitcoin dominance come down into these lower areas. So once again, you think 99% of people have a fucking clue about this, right? None. They don't know shit about this. So by looking at this stuff, you give yourself a massive advantage, because what is going to happen in the bull market, man? Let's say Brett is pumping, it's above a 10 billion market cap, in 6 to 18 months from now. So everyone's going to be buying the green candles. Little do they realize that Bitcoin dominance, possibly by that point, is down here at support. So if it's at support, man, this is not the time to be overly bullish on your altcoins and your meme coins anymore. But what are most people doing? They're rushing in at the fucking top without a damn clue. Meanwhile, people who are calculated, we've been, putting our time in the market and studying this stuff well in advance, right? While these people blindly rush into the market top, I noticed that, Bitcoin dominance is in its lower region. So I'm going to sell it. I'm going to start selling. I'm going to start scaling out. I'm going to start taking profit, because historically this is the region where, altcoins have made the most gains. So once again, that's being on a different level from 99%. While everyone's fucking rushing in and buying in the hype, I'm looking at a different chart and being like, okay, this is where I want to start unloading and taking profits. So stuff like that puts you ahead. And that's literally, guys, that's part of the main difference between making like $10 million or being dead broke by the end of the cycle, is like, do you actually put in the time to see these that 99% don't see? Or see, by seeing the things that 99% don't see, that's how you put yourself in the 1%. That's how you actually make a lot of money while other people are losing a lot of money, because you got to see the market in a different way, in a way that others aren't looking at it. That's how you get an edge.
100%, bro. That's so insightful. And I saw this guy's question here and I thought it was really good. And I wanted to answer this. I'll give my take, and I'd be curious to hear your take on this question as well. But he basically said, regarding the timing of a meme season. So I mentioned on this that the memes tend to pump later into the cycle, and they've pumped a bit earlier this cycle. Was the meme season left translated? How would I explain meme front rent alts? So in my opinion, we are in what you would call like a meme coin super cycle. This is meme coins V2. And I think the reason we're in this meme coin V2 super cycle, there's a few different reasons why. Reason number one, AI has been the greatest advancement for meme coins of any tech that's happened in the past decade, because AI allows for infinite organic content creation around a certain topic, genre, or identity in a way that wasn't able to be made before. And it allows basically a community to form around any sort of culture, identity, or social movement and create an infinite amount of content to post on social media and spread the message. So that was never able to be really done at the same level as it is now before. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is, I think, a financial cynicalism, if that's a word, cynicism maybe is a better word, around the future of crypto. I think in the last cycle, people had some sort of a belief that this stuff actually did something and was going to, become adopted. This cycle, I think people realize that crypto is a scam and that nothing's really going to come from it, other than a few different technologies, or maybe way down the line. There's not much here really that's actually real, and it's all just basically trading a bunch of potential future innovations that might happen. And so people have gone straight to the meme coins because they realize, like, well, what would I rather buy? This really cool community coin, which actually has a use case. It's a social movement. It's an identity. It's fun. It's exciting. It's being honest about what it's trying to do, which is, make people rich. Or am I going to buy this sort of boring layer one technology, which I actually don't really think is going to really change the world? It hasn't in the past 3 cycles, right? I think that's another variable. And I think one last variable that is leading to an early and meme coin sort of super cycle is the rise of gambling and the sort of mindset of gamble or zero that has really arisen. Like, inflation is rampant, things are getting expensive, people don't have as much money, the economy is not great, recession, all these different things is making people want to take more financial risk to get themselves out of their financial situation. There's more, the divide between the poor and the rich is increasing to a point where people want to, escape that poor side as quick as possible. And I feel like people don't think that the traditional path is as good as it used to be. And so they're trying to find alternatives. And sports betting and all these other gambling related pursuits are becoming more and more popular. The volumes for all these different gambling industries is increasing massively post-COVID. And so meme coins is a form of sports betting on social movements. And I think that's what it is emerging to be, right? Buying Bowden is a sports betting on the likelihood of him getting reelected, in a sense, right? Buying the best meme coin on Base is a sports bet on how popular Base becomes as a blockchain, right? All these layer ones are sport teams, right? It's like a soccer match. It's Base versus Solana. I don't even know what the fucking soccer teams are called, right? That's sort of how it is. And we're all just betting on our teams, talking shit in chats and being on voice chats with the meme coin communities. And it's just sports betting. And, and I think those variables is why we have this meme coin super cycle. Do you sort of agree?
Yeah, bro, 100%. Let me tell you from my own personal experience, during the bear market, I loved gambling. Okay. But during this market, I don't give a fuck to gamble. Why? Because, like, I don't need the entertainment anymore. I get the entertainment here. and you make way more money with meme coins when the market is good than you do sports betting. So as a guy in between the age range of 20 and 40 years old, right, it's a great age group that loves to gamble on sports, myself included. But I can tell you from my own experience, I don't want to gamble. I want to bet on the fucking memes that I know are going to go up 20x plus. Why the fuck would I gamble, right, when I have meme coins? So I think we're going to see a major transition of guys who realize, why am I betting on the Super Bowl and losing my money on like a 50-50 chance? I could have just bet on Brett. I could have bet on Toshi. I think people are going to start to realize how much more favorable the odds are here in meme coins than it actually is in sports betting. So I think we're going to see a huge shift, man, between sports betting into actually meme coins, because I think meme coins is just going to get more and more popular, and more people are going to catch on. They're going to launch more meme coins. Like, already this cycle, it is a way more common thing to launch a coin than it was last cycle, right? Like, who was even familiar with the idea of launching a coin last cycle? Like, very few, man. I just feel like it's more normalized. It's just more popular. And so, yeah, we're going to see a huge transition, man, of guys in the age of 20 to 40, betting on meme coins, I think. So, dude, I want to show you a chart perspective here, though. Okay. Give me a second to show you this. So, obviously, everyone should know that when Dogecoin outperforms Bitcoin, right? This is when your meme coins are doing the best. When Dogecoin is underperforming Bitcoin, this is when your meme coins are usually bleeding, right? So if we know that, I want you to look at last cycle. There was a period, and by the way, you can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. There's a period where Dogecoin pumped like crazy against Bitcoin, 1,600%. Then versus Bitcoin, it dumped for about 60 days. Okay. It underperformed Bitcoin. It shit the bed versus Bitcoin. You would have been way better off holding Bitcoin than your meme coins here. But right before the biggest breakthrough, the market will have you feeling down about your memes. It'll have you feeling like, what the hell? If I just held Bitcoin, I would be destroying the market right now. I'd be way better off than holding the meme coins. Bam, fucking explodes higher again. So notice this chart squiggled it out here, right? This right here could be this right here, right? Could be this right here, where meme coins are shitting the bed versus Bitcoin. And you could sell your Brett, for example, at like 30 cents right before it goes to $1, 30, for example. It's a 13 billion market cap, right? So you could sell it right there, right before it goes there. And that would be the equivalent to you giving up on your meme coins as they pull back versus Bitcoin right before the real explosion. Now, I want you to understand, okay, let's say you bought, Brett at 100 million market cap, right? And right here, guys, you sold your Brett at a 2.7 billion market cap right before it goes, okay, to a 14 billion market cap. Okay, let me tell you the problem with this. Right here, you made a 27x, right? But because you actually fucked up the timing, man, the difference between now you making a 27x or you making right here a 140x, do you understand the difference between making a 140x and a 27x is, bro? Let's just make sure people understand the difference. That is the difference between turning 10,000 into it's not letting me type here, 10K into 270K, or 10K into 1.4 million. Okay, so studying these patterns, right, and knowing the market likes to be the difference between you making 270K or making 1.4 million. Okay, how are you going to make it to the top 1%? It's by hopefully not being this guy. It's by hopefully being more like this guy. I'm not saying you need to be perfect. I'm not saying you need to be, full stacking 1.4 million at once. No, actually, that's probably not the way you want to play it. You want to DCA out, because the truth is, even if we look at these numbers and we go through scenarios, it doesn't mean it's going to play out exactly like that. Actually, Brett could go well beyond 14 billion. It could be hitting a 25 billion market cap. Call me crazy, but I see so much that I don't think that's crazy, personally. So, okay.
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, it is. And bro, the thing is, in a true bull market and true mania, right? That's why it's called a bubble, because shit floats to absurd heights that people didn't realize. Let me tell you something. This, man, is, obviously 40 billion, right? Doge hit 90 billion, right? So this is the number one meme on base, right? Once again, Toshi, if we actually go based on this, right? Let's say Doge equals Brett and Shib equals Toshi on base, right? So maybe obviously base won't be as big as Ethereum, maybe. All right, here, let me tell you another valuation, like model, I guess I have. ETH, right? If this hits $1 trillion market cap, which I do believe it will, that'll be around a $8,000 ETH, right? $9,000 ETH will hit $1 trillion. So what do you think the number one layer 2 blockchain in the world would be? 10% of the value of Ethereum, in my opinion, right? So if ETH hits a $1 trillion market cap, I think you can say base then as 10% the value of Ethereum is a $100 billion market cap ecosystem. Okay. So if this is a $100 billion market cap ecosystem, and once again, 10% of that market cap, right? Because once again, it's not uncommon. Look, ETH is 420 billion. What's the number one meme on ETH? 16 billion. So SHIB is almost 10%. I'm sorry, it's about 5% of ETH, right? But Base has a lot less competition than ETH, and there's a lot less projects on Base. So if SHIB is about 5% of ETH's market cap, which by the way, this will change. It'll go from 5% to probably 10% in the bull run, right? Simply because the number one meme on each blockchain actually acts as a leverage bet on the blockchain, right? So once again, if ETH hits 1 trillion, SHIB hits 100 billion, okay? Is it crazy to think, well, one, that means SHIB is 10% the value of Ethereum. So then is it crazy to see Brett 10% the value of Base, which I'm anticipating Base would be $100 billion, ecosystem. Well, 10% of 100 billion gets you at 10 billion, right? But then once again, account for FOMO, account for virality, account for what could be one of the biggest bubbles in history. And once again, that's how you're going from 10 billion to 25, or everyone is comparing the last cycle, how SHIB and Doge hit 40 billion and 90 billion. And maybe SHIB is actually hitting 100 billion. So now the comparative values in the market are absurd. Everyone is looking at Brett as it's at 10 billion. Meanwhile, SHIB could be at 40 billion. And everyone's like, man, Brett is cheap as fuck, right? SHIB on Ethereum, why is the number one meme on Base only at 10 billion? How crazy is that to sound? So you have to anticipate this shit well in advance. So while everyone's sitting there in the fucking full-on bull market is saying that Brett is undervalued at 10 billion because SHIB is the number one meme on ETH and it's at 40 billion, therefore this should catch up to 40 billion, and you have all this bull market money flowing around. That's how this shit, with the virality and the attention that's being captured during the bull market, can go to fucking stupid heights, man. And that's why I think it's so important, man, to have a chart background, because the emotions and the hype is going to be unreal. Everyone's going to be making money, but very few are going to walk away with money. And that's why you got to look at these charts. You got to look at Bitcoin dominance. You got to know, where are we within that hype cycle? Where are we within the market? Because I'm telling you, if Bitcoin dominance is down here, you think I'm going to go on Twitter telling everyone, oh, hey guys, I'm fucking taking profit on $80 million here. No, bro, I got to worry about my own fucking bag to sell. So, you can fend for yourself, bro. I made it at that point. Like, you guys got to, you got to remember everything I've shown you well in advance, because I don't want to be I don't want to be announcing that I'm like fucking selling, as, in that stage of the bull market. And here's the funny thing, man. Most of you won't even fucking believe me anyways, because the truth is, in the height of the bull market, people will actually make fun of you for selling. People will call you a fucking retard. Bitcoin's going to be above 150K. Everyone's going to be like, you fucking moron. I can't believe you're selling. We're going way higher. This is the meme coin super cycle, you moron. Are mathematically, they're not possible. You idiot. This time is different. You're going to look so stupid selling, Crash. And I'll be, without emotions, start taking some profits, start scaling out, because I'll know that I planned this well in advance, man. If Bitcoin dominance comes down here, man, fuck everyone, bro. Talk all the shit you want. I know what I'm doing. And the fact I'm sharing my strategy with everyone well in advance, man, that means you're my competition. Okay, you guys are all my competition, and I still share this shit with you because I know fucking 99% of you won't even listen. You won't even pay attention, because if it does happen, like I believe it will, Bitcoin's above 150K, you guys aren't going to fall back on my logic. You're not going to fall back on my analysis. You're going to fall back on fucking, you're going to see your Brett. You're going to be up $2 million, and you're going to think, oh, but if it just goes up another double, I'll have $4 million and I can go buy that house in the Bahamas that I wanted. So most of you guys, fuck this strategy. Y'all don't give a shit, man. When the time comes, you're not going to be, remembering this stream anyways. Very few of you will. And the few of you who do, congrats, because you're going to execute this like a pro like me. Very few of you will. And you know what? That's on you. I shouldn't even be sharing exactly how I'm going to fucking do this, but I am. And that means, liquidity from me, fucking make sure you drop a like on my stream. Make sure you drop a like on Dan's stream. Make sure you go fucking follow Dan right now, bro, for putting this stream together. Okay, right here on Twitter. If you're not following him, Crypto Dan 19, because obviously, he just got me to spit out the strategy in the game, unfiltered for you all. So yeah, make sure you fucking like this stream.
Yeah, and I think it is important to analyze the market cap potentials of what these valuations can go to. Like some guys were like, "Oh, why are you looking at such absurd targets?" I think it is important to analyze what's possible, because I had a friend who owned, I think, 1% of the SHIB supply in the last bull run. And obviously, when he owned 1%, it was a much smaller coin. It wasn't worth $50 million at the time, but he sold his SHIB position too early. And I did a live call with him. It's inside one of the groups that I run. But basically, I spoke to him for an hour talking about like why he sold, what he needed to have at that point in time to have not sold, to have held this position to such a large valuation. And basically, he told me that if he had built a really proper, strong thesis and looked at what could potentially have happened and analyzed the different valuations and tried to map out the future possibilities, he would have been much more likely to hold at least some of that SHIB position to where he would have made millions of dollars extra. And so when you look at these coins and you look at the valuations, obviously some of these valuations you could consider absurd. They're not guaranteed to happen, but it's important that you look at what is possible, because if you aren't mentally prepared and accounting for all these different potential scenarios, you're going to be blind to them if they were to happen. If you don't think that, and you aren't preparing for a coin to go to a 10 billion market cap, you're going to be much more likely to sell it early. And that's a blind spot, because what if it does go to 10 billion market cap and you've missed that? So I think, yeah, it's important to look at what's possible. I definitely don't want to come on here and say that there's guarantees of any of these coins going up. You all need to do your own research, and you need to understand that, yeah, we are all in competition. Like we will eventually sell. We probably won't tell you when we sell, at least not unless you're in our close circles. But yeah, it is all a competition at the end of the day. And like there's no guarantees, but like you have to do these sort of mental calculations to see what's possible. If my friend who had 1% of the SHIB supply did a mental calculation and comparison of SHIB to Doge and what was possible there, he would have been much more likely to hold that position and done a lot better. So it is something super important. But yeah, and I think I'll give you guys one little bit of alpha quickly. I'll share my screen and I will get rid of this one.
Okay.
So if we load up, I'll see if I can share my, oops. Let me see if I can share Dex screen. Don't know if it will. It is. Cool. So if you look at, here's just a little strategy for you guys. So a lot of you are like, okay, how do I buy these meme coins? When do I know when to buy? Well, my personal strategy in a sort of a bull run for meme coins is you basically just want to add on 40 to 70% declines. If you look at, for example, Toshi, and you just draw what sort of a retracement that we saw each time, you can see that, actually, I don't think the wick really counts on this one. Let me go to a 4-hour. If you draw the retracement from the peak to the bottom, you'll see that between a 40 to 70% decline consistently is what we see on these coins. And that's where you'd be wanting to accumulate. So the goal is trying not to buy during the pump. The goal is to try to buy during the retracement. And I find that on these coins, there's one pattern that works really well to spot like a bottoming formation, and it's the bullish shove fork. So it's a bit of obviously a retail sort of strategy, but I find that on a coin that's trending, especially a meme coin which has really nice price action, you'll see this pattern play out a bunch of times. And if you can recognize it, then you can also help time your entries. So for example, if you have the downtrend of lower highs, and then you have a breakout, and then lower highs, and then another breakout, this is where you can see that there's still strength in the market, because this is a classic bottoming pattern. You've got obviously the double bottom happening, and then you've also got two bullish breakouts to the upside where it could have gone down. And that's obviously showing you signs of strength in the market you'd be wanting to accumulate. Same sort of thing here. We had the breakout, sort of a retest happening. So that's just a little strategy for you guys of what I do. I draw this pattern and I look for 40 to 70% declines, and that's how I get allocated into meme coins. So I actually get good entries.
Yeah, it's a good that's too, like for leverage trading, is we will see some flash crashes in the market that'll be like 30%, and then right after those flash crashes the market's back to up only again. And so if you can catch those flash crashes and buy in with some size on them, right? Whether, like, see, that's why I keep my spot positions and my leverage positions separate. I think it's really nice. Obviously leverage is very risky, and bro, if you think meme coins are risky, go do leverage trading, and then coming back to meme coins will be the easiest thing you ever do in your life, actually, because you can't get liquidated on meme coins. I mean, you could go to zero, but if you have any logic, you're catching good narratives. By the way, could you share my screen again?
Yep.
Right, if you're catching good narratives, man, you're not going to get fucking liquidated. You're not going to lose your entire position. So it becomes so easy, man, when you go from leverage to spot, when you go from leverage to memes. It really is easy. But I was going to make a point here, and I just forgot it, unfortunately. But while I forgot my point, guys, make sure you go follow Dan again on Twitter. Let's see. I don't know if we can hit like 29,000 followers right now.
And load up your Twitter as well.
Guys, I wouldn't jump on this live with Dan if I didn't think he was really solid. And I can confidently tell you, this is probably one of the best people in the entire space when it comes to this stuff. And also, this is my first time ever talking to him, but like I have seen from afar that he's really solid. So I just want to say, like, telling you the true way the market is. Like, he's so truthful that he'll literally tell you, yeah, these guys are going to be our exit liquidity later, and I'm just like waiting for them. Like, that's the truth, man. Very few people will say it like that. Most people are going to lie to you. They're going to be like, wag me, like everything's good, everything's always going to be good. No, everything is not always going to be good. And if you don't have an edge on the market, like we've said, you're going to lose all the money you make. And unfortunately, man, the alpha that I've dropped, it's going to lead to, in my opinion, people like selling way more profits. And so, I mean, it's good on one end. I'm helping make sure that you make a lot more money, guys. But also, if you're selling way more profits, you're literally stealing liquidity from me in the bull market near the peaks. Now, I'm hoping that the volume and the traction, the virality is so freaking amazing. The liquidity on exchanges is so damn good that, yeah, the few of you who really pay attention and you get this shit as you're watching it here on live, yeah, hopefully it's not too bad, the competition. And we can all, those of us, like the 1% of us, we can all make it. But, bro, most people, they're not. They're going to buy the top, whether that's at 10 billion, 20 billion, 40 billion. And so here's the thing, man. It's really hard actually to know, do you go to 10, 25, 40? Because all of these are possible. And so that's why my strategy, right, is I'm not really interested in selling much until Bitcoin's above 150K, really. Like, I'm just so confident in my thesis that Bitcoin will be above 150K this cycle. Like, it's a no-brainer in my opinion, and I would love to hear what Dan thinks.
Yeah.
But when Bitcoin obviously topped at 20K, then from cycle peak to cycle peak goes up 2.6x. So once again, with diminishing returns here, right? Look at this, 136% gets 160K, right? Just 200%. Like, I really think this cycle, and by the way, guys, anyone who's been following me, once again, my name is Crash because I called the crash. So think about this, guys. When we were here at 69K, bro, right? Everyone was screaming for 100K. Okay, you want to know the hilarious fucking thing now, right? So obviously, my name, bro, but now, so everyone who was calling for 100, calling for 150 to 200K. Okay, that is the hilarious thing in my opinion. So, yeah, see, that's the thing. I move with logic, These people don't. So the thing is, once we get into my targets, which I do believe we're going to see Bitcoin between 150K and 200K based off simple math, based on simple diminishing returns from cycle peak to cycle peak to cycle peak, then this is when everyone's going to be saying Bitcoin's going to 500,000, a million. And they're going to be the ones who are saying that I'm crazy now for talking about this price. They're the ones that are going to be saying I'm the crazy one if I'm selling. They're going to sell shame me. They're going to call me stupid. They're going to laugh their asses off. Man, let me tell you, when I shorted the top at 69K, guys, by the way, that's on my YouTube channel. Anyone, you can go back on my channel and watch that. When I did that, shorted the top in Polkadot, right? And I remember I have my tweet. It's actually one of my favorite tweets ever. Let's see, by the way, guys, everyone better go follow Dan right now, man. I'm telling you.
Put yours up as well so I can follow you.
Okay, cool. You can put it up again later too, but I just want to show everyone this tweet of when I shorted the top in Polkadot. I'll find it here. I put it in my highlights. Man, look at this. So shorting DOT, I don't think it'll get above $56. Or as the worst case, I can see it ripping higher one last time before setting the top. It looks like a beautiful Jenga tower. I'm about to ruin family game night. Okay, look at this shit. Polkadot was at $54 at the time, brother. Literally, the fucking top, bro. I shorted it, okay? So, look at this. I mean, you can see that, right? So, guess what everyone was telling me here? You can see it on my YouTube videos more. I got more dumb comments. People were telling me, ho, 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 you idiot. You're selling Polkadot. This is going to $200 with ease. You don't understand the technology behind this shit. Brother, that technology was fucking bullshit. You just believed the price. You fell into the hype. You had no idea what you were looking at. You didn't see the charts. So, yeah, I'm telling you, at the market tops, no one's even going to believe you. They won't. They're going to be so fucking bullish out of their minds. They're going to be sitting at 54 Polkadot thinking, oh, $200 is coming. I'm going to buy a mansion. I'm going to buy a fucking Rolls Royce. You're not going to buy shit. The only thing you're going to buy is a seat all the way fucking down back to fucking the slums, dude. Okay? So that's why I can sit here and I can tell you guys like my strategy, knowing that damn well most of you, man, you're going to get overly bullish anyways at the peak. So it's really hard, man. It really is hard to be super level-headed, to be super logical, and to be super on point, even in the heights of the market when everyone thinks that, oh man, this is programmed to hit $200. And so like, that's what I'm saying, man, is like between 10 billion, 25 billion, 40 billion, obviously it's hard to know exactly, but that's why we got to look at the charts. And that's why, like I told you, man, my background in charts and being able to read charts is going to be one of the main separating factors between why I will become way more rich than everyone. You know, not everyone in the world, but like most people, you know. So yeah, anyways, that's some alpha, I guess. Is, man, fuck the price targets, right? Focus on the charts.
Yeah, it's funny, everyone always does price targets on YouTube, and I'm sure on most of these YouTube live streams they draw these like estimations. Like, maybe it's a good idea to give yourself a bit of an idea of where you think it might go, but you have to also be fully open to the reality that price will do whatever it wants to do, because what drives the price is a billion different factors. And what a lot of people do is they'll look at 3 or 4 different factors out of a billion. So they'll look at 0.0001% of the available information, and they will use that to dictate their decisions. Now, you can use a few data points to get an idea of where you think it's going to go, but to take your prediction to the level where you will actually action it, like Bitcoin's going to 150K and I will sell here, like it doesn't make sense. And that's what a lot of people online do. And you need to be fluid with the way that you're going to be approaching selling. You should have a number of data sets that you use to help you determine when we're near an end of a cycle. You should have your own intuition to recognize what you saw at the last market top. And you should have smart people that you surround yourself with who you can run ideas by. But you need to avoid saying, a lot of people, I ask them, like, what's your, sell strategy? And they'll say, oh, I'm going to sell, when this coin goes 5x. I'm not trying to be greedy. I'll just sell a 5x. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is justifying the coin to go 5x from your entry? Why is your entry so important that it's not greedy to get a 5x? It's it's just fascinating. Like a lot of people don't have a strategy at all.
Exactly. There's
They
no
set,
strategy behind that, man. It's just pure like, yeah, 5x. I'll just do it when it's then. What? There's no thought process that goes behind that, and that brings us to our first point that we made early on in the stream, man. 99% of people have no thought process, no strategy, no logic. That's why they fucking suck. Right. So you think about all these things. We go through all these scenarios. It's to be ahead of those people and to have a strategy to execute through all the emotion and the hype that eventually will be in this market to ridiculous levels. And so, yeah, talking about selling, man. And I don't love to talk about selling too much, but the real people who really do listen to us, man, like it's huge. Once again, a lot of people, though, it don't matter if they listen, they're still going to be sitting there at $54 polka dot saying it's going to 200, and I don't understand the technology at that point. And
that's
we're going to
okay.
dunk on their fucking heads, and that's great, and I'm happy. There's only so many people can win in this market, and obviously, you will follow myself. I believe we're going to have much more solid blueprint on how we're playing the market. And I guarantee you and I, we're playing the market better than 99.9% of people out here, right? So let's just talk about this though real quickly again. Is like, you don't have to wait for Bitcoin to hit 150K. You don't have to wait for it to hit 200K. But you do want to, like, a very sound strategy is like, okay, Bitcoin hit 100K, right? Maybe sell 10%. It hit 110K, sell 5%. It hit 120K, sell another 5% of your bags. Hit 130K, right? And you're never going to go fuck yourself too badly like that. There's so many ways to execute. I'm not saying, oh, Bitcoin dominance gets here, I'm full stack fucking nuking. No, bro. By the way, someone also commented in the stream, how are you going to sell a $50 million plus position with the liquidity? First off, by this point, it's going to be on Binance, it's going to be on Coinbase, it's going to be on every fucking exchange in the world, and all the dummies who bought Polkadot at $54 while I was shorting it, they're all going to be arguing with me saying, oh, Brett is going to 100 billion. Fuck, you might have some idiots who are going to say it's going to be the first meme coin to ever hit 1 trillion, for all I know. I mean, the stupidest shit you will ever see in your life, it happens in the later stage of the bull market. Everyone's going to be making the dumbest thumbnails you've ever seen. And that's another thing about a bull market, is it should be fucking annoying how obnoxious and just stupid people get making YouTube videos, content that gets them clicks. They'll do the stupidest thumbnails and it works, and it gets the attention and the views. And so, like, right now when I open up YouTube, and I don't spend a ton of time on YouTube, I'm not annoyed by moon boys. I'm not. Actually, you have a lot of people who are like still like, well, you're so confident Bitcoin's gonna go to 150K, but like, what if it's already topped, and like, and they'll hit their targets. Okay, so keep that in mind too. How I know we're not at a market cycle top clearly is like, here we were euphoric, everyone in the world was euphoric. Here people are on edge, and market tops are never made when people are on edge. Market tops are made when everyone is overboard, going fucking crazy, trying to sell their house to get into this asset. Right now there isn't that. So it's a big difference. You need to understand the psychology that actually creates a market top. And the psychology in the market right now is not that of a ultimate top. Could it be a local top for a little? Yeah, but dude, it's not going to be the ultimate top. And I really don't think, you're going to see any easy dip. And at the worst, man, you're going to see, like, what? Worst case, during the bull run, we at some point see a 30 to 40% dip. Okay, that's like the worst that happens in a bull. Because, like, think about this. All right, right here was the bottom. Okay, obviously you had the COVID crash, so that was a pretty nasty dip. But besides the COVID crash, look at this, bro. On the way up, the dips are very short-lived. Like, what, 7% there, 15% there, 28% there, and then this was the bad one that caught everyone by surprise when we actually came back up, 55%. So, no dip in Bitcoin ever exceeded 55% in the bull run, right? So, I mean, this was truly a special case, actually, right here, right? This was a weird one, but
yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, and this goes with your strategy that you were explaining to everyone earlier, right? which was like, hey, buy on meme coins, 40 to 70% dips. Well, that makes a lot of sense, because if Bitcoin's never dipping more than 60% in a bull market, right, then it's in line that, like, hey, if it's right here, a 30% dip, hey, your meme coin's probably dipping 40 to 50%. So that fits perfectly into what Dan is telling you. Buy 40 to 70% dips is like, if you even get them. You may not get them, right? If you're in a truly crazy asset. Like if you go to SHIB, for example.
Oh yeah, if it's going parabolic, yeah.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck. Where's your 40%? One, if you find a 40 to 70% dip in a top tier asset, like a number one meme on base, like a meme like Toshi on base, right? And I just want you to know, by the way, bro, I only put 10, and it's worth around 180K. It's on my other browser right now, which I don't have open. So my Toshi is 10K into 180K. Now keep in mind, I put 15K into Brett, right? And then obviously the Brett is worth, like 5.7, right? So the funny thing is, I put roughly the same amount in both Brett and Toshi. Just Brett has treated me a lot better. It's made me a lot more money. And obviously my entry into Brett was a little better. But yeah, I guess if it seems like I'm biased, it's because I really am. Like, as someone who owns both Brett and Toshi, one has treated me far greater, and I held Toshi for a lot longer than Brett, and it's not doing the same stuff. So I mean, also, at the end of the day, I think both are going to the billions, right? But yeah, I just feel bad when I say, like, the number one meme on base, Brett, and then I'm just like, oh, the other meme, Toshi. I'm like, I'm not trying to be like that. It's just like, I guess the metrics now at this point, they do, I feel like, lean in favor of Brett. But
Well,
I know Dan may feel differently, but
how
bro,
about we'll do an influencer boxing match, and we'll fight it out over who's the winner of the base chain.
Yeah. I mean, bro, I don't think there's any need for a fight, simply because I think Brett is just going to be, it's going to be good. I don't think Toshi is going to come close at this point, but like I said, I still think both are going into the billions. Like, I think when we're going through the money flow and the numbers, Toshi hitting 3 to 5 billion makes so much sense, man. I would actually, if you put a gun to my head and you told me, will Toshi hit 3 billion this bull run? Say yes or no. If you're wrong, I'm gonna blow your head off. Okay. I would say I think Toshi will hit 3. I that. Well, I do believe Brett, and especially in the case that Toshi's hitting 3 billion plus, I think Brett is easily crossing 10 billion this bull run. So yeah, it's just a crazy example there. I love to use that example, man. I just like to make people think about that. Gun to your head, truly. Pull the trigger. If you're wrong, you're fucking dead. Like,
That's a tough one.
That's what
I feel like if someone had a gun to my head and I had to pick one, I would bet on it not hitting 3 billion, and then I would FUD it just so I didn't die. Like, because I feel like I could kill it easier than I could pump it to 3 bill. Like, I could keep it below 3 bill, but easier than I could get it to 3 bill. So I'd probably take that side of the bet, to be honest. Because
that's funny, bro.
Because like my guys, we own like 5% of Toshi just from accumulating low. So I just tell them we're selling it all now. The gun's at my head. We're killing this coin. But anyway,
I would actually say selling 5% at once. I don't think that's the way to kill it, man. But I don't know.
Anyway, I'm just talking shit. But let's wrap it up with like a final point. We've been on for 2 hours now. It's been really good. Is there anything any final message you want to leave for the audience? And also, I want all my guys to see your Twitter and anything you want to show for them to find you. So,
yeah. So on Twitter, my username is CrashesClay69, and then on YouTube, my channel is Crash Trading. About to hit the golden 69,000 target here. So if you guys want to be a part of hitting 69,000, I'm there.
hey.
But yeah, and then once again, make sure you guys are following Dan. A really good live stream. And yeah, guys, fucking get these numbers up, man. He deserves it. I'm telling you, if I had to say, like, legit, probably top 5. I personally, I don't follow people. because I get my own alpha from myself mainly. Like personally for me, the most money I ever made has always been listening to myself, not others. But there are a
100%.
few people
Yeah.
that when I see them, I'm like, okay, this guy's solid, like respect, right? Dan is definitely one of those top people that I see from afar, and I'm like, yeah, he's rock solid. And I don't say that about many people, to be honest. Like I think most people, they don't have much of a thought process. They don't really know what the hell they're doing. Dan is someone who's literally trying to show you, just like I am, how to front run 99% of people, how to fucking be ahead of the game. Where's the money going to come from that you're then actually going to be able to sell into someday and actually make a huge profit? So yeah, props to Dan. Make sure you guys are following him.
Yeah.
Actually, though, I guess one last point I'll make is, have you gotten over to Telegram's blockchain yet?
I haven't, and I saw your thesis, and I'm hitting myself in the head for missing that.
Yeah. So obviously this chart like is resistance dog. It's the number one meme on Telegram's blockchain, right? So this reminds me a lot of Brett's chart early on, like legit. If you let's go back to like, I don't know, a 1 hour time frame on Brett, and it, obviously Telegram, right? They have dude, it reminds me of this right here. Okay, look at this. It reminds me of like Brett right here, kind of. Okay, why? Because look at this. You have this like dip right here, and then it just pumps out. Dip right here, pumps out, right? So it's like this price action. You don't see this type of price action usually unless it's a runner, you know? So like Brett, for example, I think this was around 80 million market cap right here, right? It's kind of funny how it's playing out at a similar spot in the chart. And then this is around 62 million. So it's just interesting because, like I said, I caught Brett, obviously, since 2 million. I caught Resistance Dog. Bro, this is where I told everyone to buy Resistance Dog. I'm not kidding. Go back to my YouTube channel right here. Right here. Number one meme coin on Telegram's blockchain will 100x with ease to this video. And literally, the first 2 seconds, you can see this, man. 1.49 million market cap. Look at where the chart was, right down here. And this is the thing people should know about me, man. I don't soft shill, man. If I believe in something, I go hard for it because I believe I'm gonna be correct. So I'll go to war for my bags if I'm confident in where it's ultimately headed to, right? So that's where I told people about this. And basically, oh my god, a $26 buy just came in. Fucking Chads. So once again, this was spotting what I thought would be the number one on Telegram's blockchain. Brett, obviously, I spotted that down here. I shared it with everyone in my Telegram. And, you're just seeing similarities play out. And so, Coinbase, by the way, has like over 100 million downloads, right? And then what do you notice? A similarity for Resistance Dog. Well, being that it's Telegram's blockchain, right? They have 900 million daily monthly users. Now, obviously, a lot of people, we have multiple Telegram accounts, so the number is probably inflated. It's probably like 300 million real users. So very similar to Coinbase. What do you think happens, right? Board their 100 million plus users into Base. What do you think happens when Telegram is trying to onboard these 300 million users, right, onto their network? Actually, you can argue Telegram has more users than Coinbase. But what I will say, I would say the quality of a Coinbase user is actually higher than the quality of a Telegram user, right? That's basically a Coinbase user legit has fucking crypto loaded up in their Coinbase account, whereas not every single Telegram user has money. So I legit, though, I do think it balances out. Like, I do think you could say the quality of 300 million Telegram users, it might actually be equivalent to maybe 100 million Coinbase users, or maybe even less. Maybe 100 million Telegram users is like equivalent to 60 million Coinbase users. You know what I mean? In terms of the money that they can bring to a chain. And so, soon on Telegram, there's going to be an airdrop for this thing called Notcoin, right? And Notcoin is like this tapping game you play in Telegram. They're going to have a big coin. I expect that to be at least $100 million market cap, probably more. So there's an airdrop event that's coming to this blockchain as well. I'm not sure if you know, but Telegram is going to be paying people who have Telegram channels. Like I think you have one, right? And I have
Yep.
one. So they're going to start paying guys like us who have these Telegram channels. If you decide to monetize it, they're going to pay you in their blockchain currency ton, right? And so I expect that all the people who have Telegram channels, they're going to get paid in ton for the views that they bring on their Telegram channels, and that's going to onboard a lot of people into this blockchain. And so you're going to have two main things, right? An airdrop catalyst as well as a catalyst of more people actually getting paid in this blockchain currency who are then being integrated into this blockchain. So two major catalysts and a whole lot of fucking users that can come over to this blockchain when we say there's 900 million monthly, but really there's like 300 million, I would say. So you have just the speculation and the numbers that support this obviously are so much greater than something like, you know, whatever, random pork dork inu, right? Like, I mean, there's literally coins out there called pork, right? And like, what is that shit? Oh, wow, that's actually 116 million. Okay, maybe not the best example. Maybe pork inu, I'll just do that, right? Like, who is going to buy pork inu? Nobody. But who's going to buy resistance dog? A lot of people, right? Because you can see factually those numbers. You can see all the people that are about to come over to this network in the coming year or two. You can see, you know, all these things like legitimately through the numbers. Whereas like pork inu, what numbers does it have? None, bro. No numbers support this thing. So that's another thing, man. Is like just acting with logic, acting based on the numbers, looking at the fucking facts, man. 99% of people, they don't do that. And that's how I can just be confident in something, is because I look at those numbers. I know that the users are coming, that money flow is coming to this blockchain, and I know that the number one meme coin on a blockchain actually outperforms the blockchain itself, and you can actually switch the price, right? This is resistance dog over the blockchain currency ton. Bro, this is fucking crazy. Look at this. Resistance or ton, right? In a sea of red, you know, ton has been up. Oh my God, this is crazy, right? So not only has ton went up in like the last month, like 260%, right? Resistance dog is literally outperforming ton in that same period of time. So as if these gains weren't already good enough, now this thing is acting as a fucking leverage bet on Telegram's blockchain, rapidly finding out about, which is now the number 9 coin in the world. I remember earlier when I made this YouTube video, bro, Telegram's blockchain, it was the number 15 coin in the world. Now it's moving up to number 9. Number 1 meme on its blockchain performing rapidly rising blockchain. Everyone's starting to find out is Telegram's blockchain. Like, think about that. 99% of people don't even fucking know that Telegram has a blockchain. So like, if you're looking at this, Dan, yourself thinking like, damn, why didn't I fucking get into this earlier? Like, just obviously look at the numbers, know how much money flow there is, and dude, like I said, 99% of people don't even know this shit exists, right? Ton. It's so slept on.
Yeah,
So,
bro. I can't
you know,
believe that's
90.
number 9 market cap. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, bro.
I'll be
We should have been
looking.
friends earlier, man. I would have
Yeah,
fucking told you, man. Yeah.
I'm $1 million poorer because I met you 2 weeks too late. Then, damn. Yeah, I think I'll be looking on using my 40 to 70% dip strategy for this one. That was a good catch. But let's wrap it up here. Again, just show them your Twitter just before we leave, and
Okay.
I want to thank you, Crash, for coming on and dropping some absolute sauce for everyone here. And yeah, everyone go follow Crash on Twitter. Guy's really, really smart. Made millions of dollars confirmed on meme coins, and just overall really good at crypto and knows what he's talking about. And if you guys liked this live stream, let us know in the chat. We might consider doing another one in the future. But yeah, overall, thank you, Crash. If you have anything you want to say before we go, let me know. But I appreciate your time for coming on.
Bro.
It's been a good 2 hours.
Yeah, bro. It was great. Like I said, guys, this was the first time I ever met him. But respect from afar, as always. Like you guys know the saying, real recognize real. You know, and it's just, that's what it is. So make sure you're following Dan. And yeah, man, thanks for the time. And it was a good stream. And I think we'll definitely do this again in the future. So
awesome. And the Brett times Toshi influencer fight is always there if you want to take it. That'll be entertaining. But yeah.
hey, if it's MMA, bro, do you actually last thing before we wrap up the stream, do you do any martial arts?
I've had one amateur boxing fight, but I've only done boxing. So MMA, you'd have to give me a bit of time to prepare.
Yeah, because I grapple, so I
Okay.
think if it's MMA, I should be able to kick your ass because of the grappling. But if it's just boxing, you'll probably beat me up. So we'll see, man.
We'll see that. We'll see, bro. So yeah, thanks again for your time, and thanks everyone. And we'll catch you all soon. So cheers.